Hello, my name is Kathy Walters, and I'm going to be your instructor for HIM 120, Introduction to Health Information Management Online. So welcome to our course, and this YouTube is just an attempt for me to acquaint you with our course website in Moodle, as well as the software you'll be using for coursework in Cengage MindTap. So the first thing I'd like to do is just show you, you'll be right here actually clicking on this YouTube and under the Please Start Here. But before I go into the syllabus, I just want to go down here and just show you some general course resources. The Instructor News and Announcement Forum is for me to go ahead and communicate to you. This is a forced subscription. This will be for like announcements when I'm done grading something, current events, etc. The Course Questions and Student Connection Forum is more for you. If you have questions that are related to the content of the course, you want to share something. If it's of a personal nature, it might be best to go ahead and email me. And then the links for tutoring services, Tutor Central, and then also a LCC link for just adjusting, if online courses are for you. And lastly, this is the link to AHIMA, which is a wonderful resource. It is our governing body for health information management nationally. We also have an Oregon State chapter, so you'll learn more about that as time goes on. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll go into the syllabus and just kind of review some things. So some general information about the course. And then here is the course information, and then my contact information and my office hours, Monday and Wednesday from 12:45 to 3:15 p.m. And I'm very good about email. The one thing I do ask is if you identify your name and what course you're taking, as I do have several courses and many students, so that's helpful for me to get back to you regarding what your concern is. The next area here is the required materials. This year Cengage has done something which is actually quite cost effective. If you're taking more than one class that is using Cengage software, this additional option here is really the way to go. So it's called CU, Cengage Unlimited, and then you can see the varying prices for how long you would need access. So that's something definitely to consider. If you're not going that route, why then up here is the bundle with getting the access code to MindTap as well as the book. And then if you do have Cengage Unlimited, you do have access to the lab manual. Unfortunately, the lab manual is not digital if you're not utilizing Cengage Unlimited, but I do provide links in Moodle for the lab assignments. All right, and then here I also have this on our Moodle page to be able to link yourself with this URL to go ahead and register for the course. Then just down below here, I'm just showing you a little bit of what MindTap looks like, and we will get into it here in just a minute. All of the items that you are required to do that count towards your grade in MindTap are indicated with this kind of orange ellipsis that says count towards grade. So that's going to be something that you're going to want to be mindful of, and this is what MindTap looks like, and I'll go into that in a little bit. Each week you'll have a test yourself. You'll have quick check exercises, you'll have a learning lab to do, as well as your lab manual activities. And then here's some just general information, a little bit about uploading lab manual assignments, instructional methodologies, academic integrity. Certainly if you're a student at Lane, you want to be familiar with the Student Code of Conduct. And then resources here, Tutor Central, great for any help with any classes regarding studying and things of that nature, library hours, and then the Student Help Desk. The Student Help Desk is great. It's Monday through Friday only, and if you have Cengage MindTap issues, why then the tech support for Cengage MindTap is the way to go, and that's what you should be utilizing regarding MindTap issues. All right, and then class participation. And then my late policy. I do not accept late work, so please be mindful of due dates and plan each week accordingly. And then the learning outcomes, and then my grading policy, which is very in line with LCC's policies, and then the percentages and letter grades. and then a little bit about online attendance. And I just kind of wanted to speak to that for just a moment. And that is that, online courses are no less demanding than a brick and mortar, or what we refer to as brick and mortar, or an in-person course. In fact, I think that online classes are more demanding. And so waiting until Sunday evening to complete your work is not a practice for success for many reasons. The first of which is if you have a technical issue, why late on Sunday evening, it can be difficult to get that resolved. Secondly, you're not going to have as good a command of the subject matter, and then you're missing opportunities, like, for example, on the chapter Test Yourself, you do have 2 takes, but they each last 60 minutes long, so that sometimes will require more time. Thirdly, if you're emailing me and you have an issue and you're doing it late on Sunday evening, it's likely that I may not be able to get back to you. So, it's just important to go ahead and get on at least 3 to 4 times a week. And, if I'm sending you something like in the announcements forum, that's going to be a forced subscription. You're going to get that. But anyway, you want to participate adequately each week. And then here I have, please scroll to the next pages. And these are the last pages in the syllabus, and here is everything that you're going to be required to do. Okay, so please read these pages particularly thoroughly. So as I mentioned earlier, you're going to have all sorts of activities, and so you want to be sure to go over these assignments. And as I mentioned, the Learning Labs and the Test Yourself. Learning Labs is worth a fair amount of points. It is a little bit more involved time-wise, but you do have unlimited amounts of time for the quick check exercises. But as I said, on the chapter Test Yourselves, that you have 2 takes for those, but they do last only 60 minutes. Again, you'll get used to this, how it goes. And then down here is everything listed with the point values. So you want to go ahead and make sure you refer to that. Okay? All right, so let's go back to Moodle. And just under the syllabus is all the MindTap resources. Again, this is the link to go ahead and register, so you just click on that. Tech support is 24/7, and it's very good. I think the one thing I do want to mention is if you do call Cengage and you have an unresolved issue, be sure to get a case number, because then I can use that case number to also assist and call Cengage and kind of get resolution. Over the years I've taught, there are many things that come up. Your browser selection, your internet service provider, your device. I mean, there's all sorts of things that can go on. So again, make sure if you have something that is unresolved, to get a case number. So each week I've set up. And again, these are all resources here. The login video, getting started, how to complete Learning Labs. So please take time to go through all of these resources that I have here on Moodle. And then what I'd like to do is just go through, each week is set up the same. So I'm going to go through week 1. So I have the learning objectives for the week, and then what you need to do. And of course, most things are due, or in fact all things are due, with the exception of this first week, on Sunday evening. So I want you to read the course syllabus and the MindTap resources, create your MindTap account, and then post your introduction about yourself to your colleagues by September 27th in the introduction form, which I'll go through. I'll show you how to do that in case you're not familiar with. And then some weeks I'm going to have a please read before beginning the week, so I want you to read that. And then here are the listing of what you'll do each chapter. And then there's PowerPoint slides, and there are many, many exercises to do, so you really have an opportunity to do a lot of stuff. And you can see here there's flashcards and all sorts of things, and we'll go into MindTap here in just a minute. But I do list here, you should attempt all exercises for study and review prior to completing the graded items, which again are in a separate folder in MindTap, and I'll show you that. And additionally, I want to mention that before you even go into MindTap, if you're having just the digital bundle, why then you're going to go into MindTap to read the chapter, but please read the chapter prior to doing the activities, particularly the graded ones. And then the PowerPoint slides are a nice overview, but they do not sufficiently cover detail as the chapter does. All right, and then down here I just have listed that the lab manual is in digital format for Cengage Unlimited students only. However, I do have the links each week in a PDF format, and then you're able to go ahead and take those and work on them and then upload them. And then here's the PowerPoint slides that are the publisher's PowerPoint, and then this is the self-introduction form, which I'll go into in just a minute. But I'd like to just go into MindTap now. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look, and this is what it looks like. So one of the things that I just really want to stress in MindTap is more just software general aspects in terms of expanding or opening folders and then collapsing or closing folders. And anytime you've activated something and you want to go back out, sometimes you're going to run into problems. You'll get used to this as time goes on, but it's super important to remember that you need to make things visible. So when you go in, it's likely going to kind of look like this. And so what you want to do is, I've just clicked on that, and then it begins to open up things, okay? Now, if you are in something and you want to get out, okay, then all you need to do is you can either collapse it again, okay, so then you can say collapse all, okay, or for example, let me just center this a little bit better, go back here, and if I click on something, and then like say for example I go into reading, okay, and it takes a minute here, it loads, and again when you begin it takes a minute for it to get familiar with your device and your internet service provider, so the buffering of loading initially will be a little time consuming, but after a while you'll get used to that. But if you're in something, you just go over here to the right upper corner and you just click that X, and then that takes you back out to your previous screen. Okay, so what I want to just show you here is that if you click on things, okay, so that apply yourself, those are all practice. Here is the test yourself, okay, that is indicated with a count towards grade. Similarly, the learning lab is, as well as the quick check. So for example, the quick check for chapter 1 will obviously load. And again, some of these things, as you can see here, it takes a little bit of time, and then you begin your assignment there. What I do want to say is that when you're working in MindTap, it's really wise to just allocate a certain amount of time that's uninterrupted so you can get these exercises completed. It just becomes problematic when you're in something, and I'm going to get back out of that quick check, when you have to stop it and start it and, those kinds of things. So again, this is what MindTap looks like. There's a midterm, chapters 1 through 5, and then the final. So you'll get used to how to go in and out of these things and load them, and I think you'll enjoy the software. And then the last thing that I'd like to do is I do want to go into this forum for those of you that have not utilized forums, and this needs to be done by Thursday evening, September 27th, and I've already got one here, but here's the instructions. Please post to the class forum an introduction of yourself to your colleagues and address the following. Please type your name in the subject text box. Please answer the following questions in the message text box. Why are you taking the course, your academic goals, your experience with online courses, any experience with health information technology or healthcare systems, and anything you wish to share about yourself. Okay? So I'm going to do one here. This is mine already that I've put in there, but you click here on Add a New Discussion Topic, which brings you to a new string, what we refer to as a string. So now I'm going to follow the instructions. So I'm going to click right here in the subject text box, and I'm going to type my name. Whoop. Okay, and then I'm going to click in the message text box, and here's where I'm going to answer all of these questions. And then I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to click Post to Forum, and then you get this confirmation that it has been successfully added. Okay, so be sure and do that on by Thursday evening. And this is satisfying LCC's new grading and attendance policies that you must submit something within the first week, otherwise you're administratively dropped from the course. So be sure and get that done by Thursday evening. And I think that's it. I've probably forgotten something, but I do wish you the best for the quarter, and I look forward to having you, and we'll see you in a couple of days virtually. Okay, thank you.